Put up your hand if you do not have a pen. Over here. You came without a pen, I can't believe that. A distinguished guy like you came and you don't have a pen. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Can someone lend him a pen, please? You've got to have a pen. Oh, very good. Okay, Will, thank you. Don't forget to return that to Will afterwards, okay? Alrighty. Now, this document now belongs to you, okay? It is proprietary to you. You are going to write on it, okay? And I want you to take notes as we go along, okay? Not necessarily. I want you to turn first, please, to page. Oh, by the way, this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. Dollars. What is this? $1 million. $1 million. This is what we're talking about. How to raise money. We can't do anything without money, okay? So this is so important. All right, now turn please to page 7. Because we've a little short on time, we're gonna jump around here. So turn please to page 7. Page 7, and look at it's point number 13. Now play along with me here. Play along with me. I'll just take a minute. But let's think about this, okay? The most inspirational and memorable person I ever met made such a big impression on him because start writing. Right, answer the question. As I'm talking, answer that question. And this could be someone who's dead, a historical figure, your mom or dad, an uncle, a teacher, a coach, could be anybody. But don't sweat about it. Just come up with, we need a handout here. Generous, and he listened. What was it about them that struck you so memorably? Write it down. I'll give you 10 seconds to finish that up. Write fast. Got to speed along here. Write it down, write, keep writing. Don't let the pen off the paper. Keep brainstorming, break down those inhibitions, keep writing. What you're going to write down, no one's going to see it. I'm not going to collect these belong to you. So you can be uninhibited. Okay, now go down, just below that. Look at B, 13B. Look at 13B right below it. And it says, some of the things I can do to become more like that person are. Okay, think about this and start writing. Some of the things that I can do to become more like that person are, write, scribble, love more, be kind to other people, smile more, increase my vocabulary, publish more, write a book, climb Mount Everest, write poetry. What is it? Right, keep writing. What is it about? Come on in, get a handout, please. I'll start up. Right, keep writing. Could be any number of things. Okay. All right, handout please. In the next hour, roughly, less, I will be throwing a lot of things at you about how to raise money. Throwing a lot of ideas at you. You're all exhausted, you're going to forget it all. But there's one thing I want you to remember. There's one thing I want you to remember. If you become more like this person that you've discussed here, that you've written about, if you become more like that person, you are going to become a more powerful fundraiser, because fundraising is all about relationships, trust, and passion. That is what fundraising is about. So I want you to remember that while we go on talking about lots of other ideas. I guess that is so important. That is foundational. So remember that. Even if you go to sleep the rest of the session, remember that. That's the take-home message I want you to have. If you don't remember anything else, I hope you remember a lot more. Now let's quickly talk about the stories in your head about fundraising, because our lives are controlled by the stories in our head, right? The way we act, behave, the way we behave to other people are driven by the stories in our head. All of you have a story in your head about fundraising. You hate it, you loathe it. Why can't someone else do it? I love it. Something in the middle. You have stories in your head. What is the story in your head about fundraising? Do you like it? Have you been successful? Tell us about it very quickly.
Moderately successful, but it's a constant effort.
Constant effort. Okay, you view it as a negative. You wish you didn't have to do it. You wish you had a fundraising partner who did it all.
No, I mean, we see the reward of doing it. It's just something that's always part of your everyday work.
Yeah, very, very good. Very, very good. Okay, what right here? What's the story in your head about fundraising?
My mother raised $500 million worth of charities when that was a lot of money. And while I don't aspire to do that, my beef is that fundraising takes a lot of time. So if you can winnow it down, it's a better use of everyone's time.
Very good, very good. Well, you had a very successful mom. That is great. What about you?
I hate asking for money.
Very good, very good. Now that is such a common reaction, you know, because we don't. A lot of people have that view that it's a pain. It involves suffering. It involves begging. It involves being subordinate. In all the things we loathe, it's the very opposite of autonomy, and you don't want to do it, and you wish someone else would do it, and you want to get on and do your conservation work, and then someone else raises the money to support you. Very understandable. Thanks for saying that. And that's a very common thing. Now, my story in my head is that I love it. Okay, I love raising money. Just last week, 2 checks came in, each for $50,000 each. I love raising money. Okay. Now, that's the story in my head. What I'm hoping, one of the outcomes of this workshop will be to begin to check. Those of you who have a story like hers, come on in, get a handout. Come on in, get a handout. Come on in.
I'm nervous.
What did you say? Oh, don't be nervous, don't be nervous, don't be nervous.
Right there.
I started raising money 30 years ago. When I went to a donor, I would find I would be so nervous, my heart would be like this, jumping out of my chest, you know, I'd be so apprehensive. And then sometimes I thought I'd ask for a gift and I'd forget to do it. I mean, it was so, I didn't find the words, I didn't know how to say it. So one breakthrough that I had was that I learned the language. And I found this very helpful. So what I did was before I get to see a donor, I would practice saying these words. Would you consider a gift of $100,000 to support my project X? Okay? Okay, remember those words, because this will make it easier for you, okay? It's like asking someone to marry you, you know? It's nerve-wracking, but if at least you've got the words right, it'll help you a little bit. It'll ease the tension just a little bit. So the words are, would you please consider a gift of, whatever the figure is, $1 million to support my work? Now, you would normally not say that until about maybe the 7th or 8th meeting, because it's all, as I said, remember I was saying all about trust. It takes time to build trust, okay? So, but I want you now to practice it, because learning is in the body, is not in the intellect. Learning is in the body. We'll teach your body to how to do things. So get in pairs very quickly, get in pairs, pair up very quickly, and I'll give you just 1 minute to do this, 1 minute to do this, and practice saying to each other. And now listen, when you say it, listen to me, when you say it as if you mean it. Look in their eyes. Look in their eyes and say to them, would you please consider it? Okay, go 1 minute, go. Alrighty, excellent. Looking back at me, please. Look back at me. Look back at me. Okay. Look back at me. Very good, very good. I love the enthusiasm in the room. This is important. This is important when you raise money. You want to emit enthusiasm. This is absolutely pivotal. Because remember, no one cares about your idea. No one cares about your idea except you. So if you don't reflect enthusiasm and power about it, it's not going to work, isn't it? You're dead to begin with. So you have to be enthusiastic. Now, turn please to page 8 of the handout. Turn to page 8 of the handout. We're going to move fast here. Now, very quickly, get a pen in your hand. Everybody has a pen in their hand. Look at number 14, question 14, page 8. What are the barriers to becoming a more successful fundraiser for your ocean project? What are the barriers? Keep writing. Start writing. And I'll keep talking quietly so you can give you ideas. But it could be because you don't know any donors. You don't know any donors. Or you know someone, or you know a foundation, but you don't know how to approach them. You're apprehensive. You've never done this before. That could be a barrier. Another is your project isn't well thought out, isn't yet in a form where you can take it and present it and powerfully. That could be a barrier. So think about, keep writing, keep writing. What are the barriers to you becoming a more successful fundraiser? And for those of you who came in late, you can be completely uninhibited. This belongs now to you, this handout, to everything you write. It's only for your eyes only, so you write anything you like. What are the barriers to you becoming a fundraiser? It could be that your project doesn't have any innovation in it. That's something which funders like to see, something which is innovative and fresh. Okay, keep writing, maybe another 20 seconds. What are the barriers to you? What's stopping you? You need help, you need advice, you need to hire somebody, you need to form a partnership with somebody. What is stopping you becoming a more effective fundraiser?
Hey, Chris?
Yes.
Can you repeat what you had asked everyone to say to each other one more time?
Yes. Would you please consider a gift of $100 million to support my project? You want to say that in dulcet, mellifluous tones, not the way I just said it then. Okay?
Yep.
Very good. Okay. Everybody ready? Turn please to page 9. Now look at this question. This is a critical question. Page 9, question 15. Why should a donor give to you versus someone else? Now this is where we're going to brainstorming session here. So loosen up, lose your inhibitions, start writing, loosen up, just let things flow from you, okay? Why should a donor give to you versus someone else? What makes you and your project unique? Now think about this. This is important. If you go to a donor, whether it's a foundation, a corporation, or an individual, with something which sounds banal, prosaic, routine, they're not going to be turned on, okay? They're not going to be excited by it. So you need to come to a donor with something which is exciting, has something new about it. Start, keep writing, keep writing. What is it? What is it about your project? Keep writing, write, keep writing. I want to capture these thoughts. What is it about your project, your Ocean Raid project, which is unique and fresh and innovative? Is the technology, the approach, the way you're going about it? Perhaps you've already got some funding and therefore you can leverage that in some way. Maybe you've already got support from the National Science Foundation. Maybe, what else is going on that can impress a donor, whether that's a foundation executive, an individual wealthy person, or a corporate bigwig. What is it about your project which is fresh and new? The approach, the people, the team. What is it that you've done which is new? Is it the project has been neglected and you are bringing much needed attention to it in a fresh way? I gave you five seconds to finish brainstorming. Write all you can. Write all you can. Go. 5 seconds. Very good. Look up on me, please. Look up on me. Okay, now turn, please, to page 10. Page 10 of the handout. Look at number 16. This is a very important, completely confidential. Completely confidential. Who do you know who might be a prospect for you? Some of you are thinking, well, I don't know anybody. I do not know a soul. But that's not true. Now think about this. Keep writing. Get your pens out. Get your head thinking. Put your thinking hats on. Think about this. You're brainstorming. You're just letting things flow. Okay. Who do you know who might be a prospect for you? Think about this. This could be someone you went on vacation 10 years ago with, that you've lost touch with, but you can reconnect with them. You get the sense they had a lot of wealth, and you go back and think about your mom and dad. Someone they might know who get into. Maybe think about neighbors you might have known. Okay. Now, don't be embarrassed by this. Some of you already, I can see that some of you are already thinking, oh my gosh, I would never go to a neighbor. Oh my gosh, I would never go to an uncle. Don't worry about that. Well, that's not the question. The question is, who do you know who might be a prospect? We'll come later on to how you would approach them. But right now, you're just brainstorming for your eyes only. Who might be a prospect for you? Think about people you used to work with. Think about gatekeepers. Think about people that you know who might know other people. Brainstorm. Think about your old Rolodex. Who was in that could introduce you to other people? You could write to and get an introduction to other people. Rolodex. No, don't worry. It's a address book. Okay. Thank you, Nick, for embarrassing me. No worries. So who do you know? Think about neighbors, family members who could introduce you to other people. Who else? Who else do you know? Think about this. People you used to work with. Some of you read about in the paper that when you read about them, something about it resonated with you. Oh my gosh, that's a person I might be able to, I might be able to talk with them because I got something in common with them. Who do you know? who might be a prospect? Think about it. This is critical. But keep writing, keep writing. Write down names of anybody who could lead you to other people, neighbors, friends, colleagues, relations. Now, 5 seconds to finish brainstorming. Very important, this. And don't be embarrassed about it. It's for your eyes only, so write down anybody. Anybody you think you could make a connection with. 5 seconds. Of the handout. Turn to page 1 of the handout, okay? And now look at number 1. By the way, there are blanks throughout this. Don't let that worry you. The answers are on the back page, so don't worry about that. Look at number 1. It's just a pedagogical thing. Look at number 1. It says, building a compelling case for your project. This obviously is important. All of you work on ocean-related issues, and you want to, if you're going to win money, which you need to do, you are going to obviously, you need to make a compelling case for your project. So look at 1. I'm going to skip through this. We don't have so much time now, so I'm going to skip through, just hit on some key points. But your homework is to study this in more detail and write to me with any questions you have about it, okay? My email is palmer@American, I think it's on here, yes, it is, palmer@american.edu. So you can write to me and say, on page 11, you wrote this, I don't understand it, please explain it, or whatever, okay? So look at number 1 on page 1, look at number 1, look at 1C. It must contain, that blank, write it in there as passion. Write that word in, passion. It must contain passion and be laced with, that blank is stories. Be laced with stories. I made this mistake over and over again when I was years ago, and I started raising money. I used to go to funders and say my film, I'm a filmmaker, I'd say my film is going to get a rating of 3.2. Isn't that wonderful? Not realizing this is ineffective. People are not impressed by numbers like that. People are impressed with emotional feelings, okay? So what I learned to do very quickly was you have to give them that information, obviously you need to give people factual information, but what I learned very quickly is I was much more effective if when I went to a donor, I said to them, and I'm making this up, our film last week that appeared on PBS on prime time on marine conservation, I was so happy with it because the next day, I'm making this up, the next day, I got a call from a mother. And she told me that her 16-year-old daughter, who she's had a lot of trouble with, has been smoking marijuana, has been a real problem, saw the film and was so inspired by it, and now wants to become a marine scientist. I just want to call you and thank you, she says. Oh, this is me now, pretending to talk to her. Okay, so stories are important. You always don't tell the truth, obviously, but no, that's absolutely critical. But you want to. That's the point of 1C. It must contain passion and be laced with stories. Now look at 1D. It must describe the project results and benefit. Now I made that mistake a lot. I used to say to donors, "Oh my gosh, I made this film on ocean acidification, and isn't that great?" And the mistake there, come on in, mistake, get a hand out. The mistake there is that. Dan, have a seat. We're on the first page. Okay, so the mistake I made, when you talk about a subject like ocean acidification or ocean noise or anything like this, you want to talk about why you're doing it. You know, what is the what is the real result? You want to talk about solution, not just what you're doing, but why you're doing it. What's going to come out of it at the end? So if you talk about loss of habitats in the sea in some way for animals, you don't know why that's important. You don't want to stop there. Okay, so it must describe the expected result, and so write in that blank results, and the next blank is benefits. This is 1D, results and benefits. There's blank. Write that in, okay? Okay, so, and look at 1E. It must describe the impact of a project in human terms. We often forget this as environmentalists, conservationists. We often forget this. You want to describe the impact of your project in human terms. How will your project make a difference, okay? So you want to, just don't talk about your project. Talk about why it's important in a most